Motivation gives energy to our behavior. It's like an engine of achievement and give us direction, intensity and persistence of our behavior. In other words, motivation leads us to choose a path, put less or more effort to go along that path, and will to remain on that path or give up on it. However, to change behavior is not a question of quantity of motivation, but a question of quality. Are we good or bad motivated? The self-determination theory tells us that we can regulate our motivation in 6 different ways, spread along a continuum where emerge 2 major forms, controlled or autonomous motivation, that are less or more self-determined. The less self-determined forms are a motivation, when we feel lack of motivation or intention to do physical activity; external, when we do physical activity in order to satisfy external requirements; and introjected, when we put pressure in us to do physical activity. The more self-determined forms are identified when we recognize the importance of physical activity, but we may not enjoy it. Integrated, when we integrate the physical activity in our lives because it's aligned with our interests. And finally, intrinsic motivation, when we experience fun or pleasure doing physical activity. Research in this domain put in evidence the relationship between more self-determined motivation and several positive behavioral outcomes, such as enjoyment and high levels of endurance. On the contrary, less self-determination motivation tend to lead to negative outcomes such boredom and high levels of dropout. So the main questions here that we must have clear to ourselves are: I do physical activity for personal or external reasons? Physical activity is important to me or not, and why? Could I enjoy it and have fun when I do physical activity? Having clear the answers to these questions can help us to understand our relation with physical activity. Meanwhile, there are some tips could also help us to engage physical activity. So let's try it to put in practice in our daily lives. First, focus on the task and personal development, not on the results and social comparison. Second, take physical activity as a part of your daily routine, not as an obligation. Third, identify what is personally important for you. For example, being physical activity, being healthy. And last but most important, choose an activity you like and have fun. Thank you very much for listening.